Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the Samsung Galaxy S21 and see how this particular phone holds up in the later part of 2023. Now, even from mid-year of this year, so many things have actually changed, which is actually so interesting. We did end up getting the FE model, the successor of the S21 FE, not directly, comparative to this phone, but still a direct competitor to the one of this FE model of this particular phone. On top of that, we did end up getting the next version of Android 14 with One UI 6, and this phone is actually supported on One UI 6. So there have been a lot of moving pieces with this particular phone. First thing though, the thing that has not changed is the body. You're still getting that 6.2-inch dynamic AMOLED display, 1080p hole punch display, like a very good display on this thing, and I still feel like Samsung did a really good job with this phone. Although it really wasn't, it was a downgrade coming from the S20, let's be real, but it was still a good looking phone and I still like it a lot. USB Type-C port on the bottom, standard plastic back, which was, I would say, the biggest turn off for me when this phone came out in 2021. And every single, basically, month that I talk about this phone in 2021 up until now, there's been, I've kind of gotten used to the plastic back, so maybe there's that, and it really has kind of grown on me, to be honest. But they have switched back to glass back, so it's not even that big of a deal anymore. But that's just kind of one thing to keep in mind. It can be a turnoff for a lot of people. Triple camera setup on the back of this phone too. You're getting wireless charging, reverse wireless charging. So the body of this phone and the feature set behind this phone still hold up quite well. And I do think it's actually like a pretty decent phone from the exterior, especially when you consider how low this phone has gotten in the used market prices. Like, this phone is actually probably worth like less than $200 in so many places across the board. And that can be a massive thing and massive reason why people would actually go ahead and buy a phone like the Samsung Galaxy S21. Now, beyond that, the other big thing that's changed, like I mentioned earlier on in this video, is with One UI 6. Android 14 is right around the corner. It's probably already out for a lot of Samsung Galaxy S21s, so that is a really big advantage for this type of device. If you're buying something like the Galaxy S21, you are getting that next version of Android. However, on the exact topic of that, the problem with the Samsung Galaxy S21 in the later part of 2023 is that you are actually getting a phone that might be on its last version of software. So yeah, it might be getting Android 14, it's already getting it, but it doesn't mean it's going to be getting Android 15. And the way Samsung's kind of moving, I haven't heard any rumors that this phone is going to be getting Android 15 anyway. So there could be some movement, there could be some changes, who knows at this point. But if I were to kind of guess and kind of estimate, I would probably say the S21 is about 50-50 chance of getting Android 15. So if you want to get a phone that's going to last you for a couple more years, this might not be the phone for you. But if you're comfortable, like if you already own the S21, if you're planning on buying this phone in the next couple months, and you plan on using it for like a year or two, this would be a perfect phone in my opinion. On top of that, the performance of this phone is still very good. It had that Snapdragon 888 chipset with 8GB of RAM. Very good performing chipset and very good amount of RAM on this phone to have from a technical specification standpoint. That doesn't mean it's perfect, although you are getting 120Hz display and everything. There can still be a lot of caveats to this, like it's an older chipset, and Snapdragon, did do a lot of improvement with their current generation of chipset. So when I compare my S21 to my S23, there are some pretty big, performance gains when you go up to something like the S23. But overall, what I'll definitely tell you is, I definitely do think a Samsung Galaxy S21 is still worth buying, and I still think it's a very good phone. It's not perfect, and I do think there's a lot of improvement that Samsung did throughout the last 2 years, but I still think it's a good phone to buy, and I would 100% recommend buying it for sure. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that will mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.